So hi everyone, Gellis at Infinite Modesty Design. So this we are going to be making a bag. Okay, we're going to make it a nice little tote bag with, in this case, we're going to also put a little pockets in our bag. Okay, so this is how we're going to do it. We want 2 straps. So it's 2 actually. So 2 straps we want here. In this case, the length of the strap, we want to make sure it is 28. So 28 by 4 inches width, okay? I'm just gonna put this aside. So this is what I have here, 28 by 4 inches wide. I have 2 straps. Then we want our pockets. So our pockets, now we're gonna actually cut it on a fold. So if you follow in the pattern here, then what I do, I do the cut on a fold here. So the width is 7 inches for the width. And then the height is 14, okay? So 7 by 14. And what we wanna do, we wanna make sure that that is in half like this, okay? So we're gonna get to that, of course. And then that's for the pockets. And then we want our main bag piece. So our main bag piece now is, the height of our bag is 18. So I'm just gonna measure the pattern here. So 18 by 16. Yeah, and we want 4 pieces, okay? So 4 pieces of 18 by 16. The pocket is 1 piece, and then the straps, we want 2 pieces itself of 28 by 4 inches. All right, so let's get started. So instantly now, the first thing I want you to do is to prepare the strap. So let's go ahead and prepare the strap. So let me show you exactly what I did here. So I prepared this one already. That's how our strap's gonna be, okay? So let me show you what I did. So what I did here, so this is ultimately the right side, right? So I put the right sides touching the table. So this is the wrong side, the inside of the fabric facing me. So what I did first, I take this here and I iron it in half. That's the first thing I did, right? I ironed everything down in half. So it was ironed down in half like this, all the way down in half. All right, just wanna make sure. Okay, so everything was lying down in half like this. And this is right sides, the outside, right sides, the outside, the inside is touching each other, right? So wrong sides touching each other, okay? So, once I've done that now, guys, is the next thing I did is I fold this down 1/2 inch. So how I did that, you could measure. So I measure like 1/2 inch down, 1/2 inch down, 1/2 inch down. You could mark a 1/2 inch on chalk, or any marking pens you have, or you could just put 1/2 inch and you put a pin here. And then once I put 1/2 inch on this end now, what I did, I ironed the 1/2 inch down. All right, so that's a second ironing I did. I ironed the 1/2 inch down nicely. Then I do the same thing on the other side of my strap. Okay, so I come to the other side here and I do 1/2 inch all the way down again, right? And then I iron it down. Okay, so now I have this nice crease here and I have this 1/2 inch fold. I have this 1/2 inch fold here. See, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. Then I bring everything up to each other like this. Okay, so in this case, this is the outside. This is what everyone would see. This is the right sides. So I just close everything nicely and I put a pin. You could put a pin to kind of keep it down, right? So once you go on the machine, you just take out the pin as you sew, right? I just kind of tuck it down here. So it's the same thing I'll do for this one. Just put a pin and just to kind of tuck it down. So when I'm ready to sew, I'm all good to go. All right, perfect. So now for this one is done. The next thing we want to go ahead and do is to prepare again the pockets. Okay, so let me explain the pockets now. Like I mentioned, the pockets is 14 by 7, right? This is how we're gonna do it. Or if you want to cut it, you could cut it on a fold. Cut it on a fold itself according to the pattern. Right, we cut it on the fold. Okay, so now I'm gonna fold this like that. Once I've done that, guys, and if you don't know what fold is, just follow the pattern. If you did got a pattern, or just you could actually just measure it like this, 14 by 7. Okay, all right, good stuff. So what I've done, I take, this is the right side. So we all know right side, the outside of our garment, right? This is the right side. I'm gonna touch right sides to right side. So I'm gonna fold it in half like this. Now this is the wrong side. So wrong side's facing me, wrong side's facing the table. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna pass, you could just pass an iron to make sure it's nice and crisp. okay? Then the next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna do a 1/2 inch stitch from here, come to here, and then we're gonna stop. 1/2 inch stitch from here, come to here, then we're gonna stop. So we're gonna be leaving at least 3-inch opening, okay? So 1/2 inch stitch, the back stitch, you come here, 1/2 inch stitch, your back stitch, of course, and you come down here, and you come here, then you do a 1/2 inch, you do a back stitch, and then you stop. So that's what we're gonna be doing itself. So we go ahead and sew this, and lastly now, because we're gonna go on the machine and do them, lastly now we're gonna prepare our fabric, okay? So I know my fabric is a bit colorful, so let me take my time to explain. So for my bag piece now, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take right sides, touching right sides. So this is the right side, the outside that everyone would see, okay? I'm gonna leave it down on the table. So this is the right side of my garment. Everyone would see that side, the outside of my garment. So right sides, and I will take this now and cover it. So right sides will touch right sides, okay? So I'm gonna come like this. So I had to add piece to my garment here because my fabric was kind of, was a little bit short. So I just add an extra piece just to get my full length. So right sides touching right side, you take your time and you match it up nicely, okay? Okay, so once you get that right match up nicely, of course, just take your time, match it up nicely. Then we're gonna go on the machine and do a 1/2 inch stitch all the way around, okay? So we're gonna get to that. So this is right sides touching right side. The other one now is the same exact thing. The other piece of my bag now, again, is right sides touching right side. So let me go ahead and explain. So this is the right side of my garment. This is the wrong side of my garment. It's touching the table. Okay, so the outside where everyone would see, the inside is what touching the table. Then I will take this and put it over here, same thing again. All right, so right sides touching right sides. Okay, like this, make sure it's touching nicely. And what I'm gonna go, I'll just actually go pin it down because I actually want you to pin it down to make sure everything is nice and tailored. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna do 1/2 inch stitch all the way around. Okay, so just go ahead and pin it just as how I'm pinning it here. So we're gonna do 1/2 inch stitch from here, come down here, across here, and go up here, okay? So I'm just gonna be fitting my my pieces here just to make sure everything set up nicely. All right, so I'm gonna pin everything and then we're gonna be on the machine. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so now we have the strap. See, we have our strap as we mentioned earlier. So now we're gonna be sewing our strap down just at the edge here. Just gonna follow the right at the edge. Okay, we're gonna sew our strap down, take out our pin as we go. See, right at the edge I'm following. You're just gonna take your time. Actually, you know, you would actually do another stitch on this side. This is not a must. You go ahead and do that as well, but it's not a must. Okay, so you could go ahead and do that for both sides of the straps. Okay, good. So the next thing we're gonna do now is the pockets. Okay, so I'm just gonna start the pockets here, and then I'll go right around and do a 1/2 inch stitch all the way around. So right here, I'm gonna start. Take out my pins. Okay, and I'm gonna turn. So apparently I leave the opening on the side and that's okay. Okay, so I leave the opening on the side. Was supposed to be down here, but that's fine, guys. So I come across here, I leave, and this is the fold here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna come down to this here, so at least I still have my 3-inch opening. Okay. All right, so I'll just stop right here. So just come down here. So either way, it works out same thing anyway. Good. So I still have my opening. If it's on, even though it's on the side, if I decided to do it on the side or the bottom, but I misplaced. I thought I was doing it on the bottom, but it's okay. It's not a big deal. Okay. So in this case, if you decide to leave the opening here or on the side here, it's fine. Once you turn it, once we turn, you would see exactly how it come out. Excellent. So this is done. The next thing we're gonna do here now is our bag opening. So this is the mouth of my bag. I want to make sure that I don't have no pin at the mouth of my bag, so I'll know where it is. So this is the full mouth of my bag. I'll start on one side of the mouth. Actually, I'll just turn it this way. I'll start on one side and I go right around, and I'm going to end up on this side. Okay, so 1/2 inch all the way around. Okay, so we are done with the sewing part for now. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna actually take our iron and we're gonna be ironing, and we're gonna be turning, and we're gonna be putting our pocket in the right place. So what we're gonna do first, we're gonna work with our pockets. Now, when I give the instruction was to put the opening here, and I don't know, my eyes just tell me the opening was here for some reason. So it's not a big deal. The goal is that we have an opening, and then we're still on the fold, right? So we come here, and then we have our opening here instead of here, and that's fine. You could have it here, you could have it here, because at least you must have an opening. So now I'm gonna open my pockets, and then you're gonna try your best to poke it out as nice as you can. So I'm just gonna try to, with whatever you have to poke it out, poke out all the corners nice and pretty. Okay, so really nice and pretty. Poke it out. All right, excellent. And then now, okay, so that's how my little pocket's gonna be. So, and then we're gonna iron this down, okay? So we're gonna iron it down nicely, make sure everything is nicely poked. Okay, so this is fine. I'm gonna iron it in a bit. This bag now, I'm gonna turn it, and one of them, I'm gonna turn my bag as well. Before I turn it, actually, we're gonna be doing, we're gonna box in the corners, okay? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna turn it in a bit, but first what I wanna do first, before we box the corner, we want to iron this as well, because we wanna position the pockets on the right side, but this is what we're gonna be doing. We could fold this like that. Since I'm ironing, I wanna iron everything one time. We're gonna fold this in half. We're gonna iron it down. Reason being, we want a position for our pockets. Okay, we want a nice even middle pocket. So we want to put in the pocket. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to iron here to make sure that my that I get this nice crease in the middle here. Okay, this is what we actually want. So I'm just going to iron the sides, because every time you do a project, it's always good to iron as you sew, make life easier for you. this one is fine. I'm gonna also iron this here. So this one I would not do the folding because there's no need to do the folding, only one, okay? Just iron it down. So this is fine. Then we're gonna iron the pocket down nicely. Just make sure it's nice and tailored. Okay, fantastic. And then we're gonna iron down our straps. Okay, good. So I have this, I have that. So before I do anything, what I'm gonna do here now, I would box my corner. So this is how we're gonna do it. We have it like this. Again, everything is on the right side still. Just gonna open it here as a square. I'm gonna trim out this extra edge here. This extra piece here. And this extra piece here. I'll also do it on the other pieces as well, the other piece of bag as well. So I'm gonna come here, I'm trying to make a triangle here, right? And what I'm gonna do with this triangle now, I'm gonna put this on the side. I wanna box the corner of the bag to make sure everything nice and tailored. So I'm gonna take a pin here and I'm gonna push it here, and it must go on the other side of the thread. So thread to thread. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna measure down because I wanna have it at least about from the tip of the triangle here, so 1.5 inch down from the tip of my thread here, right here, 1.5 inch down. I just put my pin 1.5 inch down. I put it, so you see, when I push it on this side of the thread, it come out on that side of the thread, okay? And I just bring it back up on the thread, and I'm good to go, see? So it's the same thing we're gonna do here. And then we're gonna sew it across. So again here, open this here. The middle, so make sure I have a nice little triangle. And I measure 1.5 inch down from the end of my thread here. So 1.5 inch down is here. 1.5 inch down. Perfect. Okay. So it's not perfect because you need to go on the thread. So let me just push it back on the thread here. So I push it on the thread here. Make sure it's come on this side. It's very important that it actually go on the thread. All right, so it's on the thread here. It's on. So I push it on this side. It comes out on the thread on this side, and I'm gonna just push it back up. Push the pin back up now. So make sure it's thread to thread. So you see, I push it back up. It's on the thread, and it come back on this side on the thread. Okay. And then what we'll go ahead and do is to do a stitch, which is 1.5 inch down from the edge here. We're going to just do a stitch across nicely. If you want, you could take a ruler and measure a line across, which helps. So let me do the other one, and then we'll go back on the machine and do that. Okay, so this here now, to the exact same thing, I'm going to trim out. Now, if you're having trouble with boxing the corner, is not a big deal. You could actually skip that part and just do your regular bag. The only reason is that when you box the corner, it makes the bag, you know, stand nicely or looks really tailored. But in this case, it's not a must. If you do it, you could still have a beautiful bag without boxing the corner. But as you get better and better in the bag, you could always try it out, okay? Just want to let you know. So from the edge of my thread here, I want to measure 1.5 inch down. I push my pin at the 1.5 inch down mark. Oh, perfect. And the pin come on the other side on the thread. Pretty much on the thread. Almost on the thread. There you go. Then I push it back up. So you see, on the thread, or right at the thread and right at the thread. To make sure, and then I push it back up. You see, when I push it back up, it push back up on the thread, and then it come back on the thread. Perfect. So last one I'm gonna do, and then we're gonna sew it down. So you're gonna make a triangle shape. Make sure I open the triangle nicely. Now, if you don't want to do that, you could always skip that part if you don't want to do it. It's just, it gives the bag even a more tailored look. but it's not something that you have to do if you find, because some people could actually find challenging if you're doing it for the first time. You could actually, and then the thing is, you would always make a bag like this again, right? But it does give the bag a nice tailored look. Okay, so see, I push it here, it didn't come on the thread, so now I will just pull it out here on this end and just fix it to go exactly on the thread. Perfect. So it's on the thread now. I'll bring it back up and it's close to the thread, close to the seam thread. Okay, perfect. So it's on the seam thread here. So on the seam thread, excellent. So now what I would do, this is what I would do here now. I would take my ruler. I think I have a piece of chalk here, yeah. And I will just make sure, you have to make sure that this part is really, really triangle, okay? It's very important. So make sure this is fully triangle, fully triangle. You don't have anything extra here. And I'm just gonna take my thing. So I'm gonna measure 1.5 inches down for the tip of the thread here. And I put a line. And then you could take a ruler and you just make a line here, make a line here. So you would make a line that you could see, right? At that 1.5 inch, and then you would go sew it from here down to here, okay? From that 1.5 inch mark. Okay, so let's go ahead and sew this down. Okay, so what I've done, I'll make a line so you can actually see. So just want to make sure that everything is clean. It's smooth. You're not, when you're sewing, there's no bump in the road or anything like that. Want to make sure it's nice and even. So you have to take your time. Again, I said, if it's something that you find is difficult, you could always skip it because it does take time. So it does take practice. And you could just leave the bag with the corner like that without boxing it if it's a challenge. Okay? But I like challenges, so I'm just gonna walk my way to the pin because I don't want to take out the pin early, and then I didn't get that nice formness. Yeah, but I just stay exactly on the guide. So I'll turn this one here again. Make sure I'm all settled on nicely here. Okay, there you go. Alright, I'm just gonna do the other two and then yeah. We are done. Okay guys, so we are finished and I left it. Okay, so you see I just connect and sew. So what we're gonna do, I'm just gonna take this out here now. So this is how it is, right? Just make sure it's nice and even. Any extra, I'm just gonna see here, see something here. This is nice and clean here, nice and clean here. That's what we want, right? Just want to make sure that here is nice and even. If there's any lump, anything in the way, you definitely want to take it out and redo it. Let's see, this is nice and clean here. That's what we want, nice and clean. Okay, excellent. Okay, remember we did have our crease down in the middle for this, so hopefully we could still find the crease. Yep, I can still find the crease here. This is what I'm going to do next. I'm going to turn this open for now, and I'm going to try to fit my pockets. Okay, try to fit my pockets. So we're going to iron again, but not yet. So what I'm going to do here, I have my crease in the middle here. So that's my guide for my pockets. Then I'm going to come up like 3 inches or 4 inches up. 3 inches, 4 inches is fine. And what I'm going to do here with my pockets, I'm just going to fold it like this to kind of get the middle of my pockets as well. So this is just an easy way to do it, to be honest with you. And then I will take the fold of my pocket. So the fold of my pocket is up here. Sorry, up here. No, up here. Sorry guys. So the fold of my pocket is up here. Okay, so I'm just gonna fold my pocket in like this. All right, I'm just gonna do that to kind of get the middle. Okay, and then I'm gonna take my pockets, open it like this. So you go exactly over the fold, over the crease line here, okay? So that's just one easy way to do it. So I have about 3.5 inch up actually. So we're just gonna stick with 3.5 inch up. I think this is far enough. You could actually go higher up if you want. If you want to make a side pocket, you could actually just do your own style. So we're gonna go up, and then I'm still on my crease, and then my pocket is in the middle here. Okay. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm just gonna take a pin, and I'm gonna pin the pockets here, only on one side of the fabric, right? So the fold of my pocket is here. The opening is on the side here. I'm gonna be sewing it down anyway. Just want to make sure my pocket is in the middle, so it's in the middle. I saw my crease here is in the middle. So I am just gonna tuck a pin here. But my goal is now is to make sure I pin it across here, because I'm not gonna pin here. Okay, so I'm just gonna pin on the side here, because that's where I want to pin. Pin it down on the side here. Do you remember I said we turn the bag, and the bag is on the right side now, right? Do you remember we turn the bag? So this is the inside of the bag. This is the outside. The pocket is on the outside of the bag, okay? So regardless of which piece you want to put the pockets on, because remember I said we're making a double-sided bag. Okay, so we put another pin here. Make sure you sit on nicely. Okay, I'll take all this. I don't need that. Okay, perfecto. So remember, say I had folded the bag, so I had a crease, and then I creased this, so this is in the middle here, and then I pin it all the way around. So now what I will do, this is my pockets here, right? So this is the right side of the bag, because I turn it the inside of the bag. It's of course on the inside, right? Okay, so I'm gonna go on the machine now. I'm gonna sew this down right here, come down here, right to the very edge, come here, and I'm done. Okay, all right, so now we are going to so I'm gonna just open the bag like this, right? Open it like this nicely, and I push this under, and I make sure that I don't have anything, so there's no other fabric here than just this and the bag itself. And I'm gonna just do a stitch right at the very edge. Okay guys, so we are done with the pockets. So we have our nice little pockets here. All right, fantastic pockets. Alrighty, so this is it here. So what I've done, I've turned the part with the pockets to the right sides. And I'm stressing it because I want there is a difference with how you connect the bag right now. So what I want you to do is this. So this is the right sides of my bag. I want us to leave this part of the pocket on the right sides, okay? Because we need it on the right sides. Okay, good. So this other part now, we want it on the wrong side. So you see my raw edge here. And another thing you could do, if you have a serger, like I just serged the end here because I did trim off that edge here. I trim it out for my both pieces. So, and then I serge it because I just want to keep it down nicely. And you could also go ahead and serge the entire bag. I didn't want to serge the entire bag, but you could go ahead and serge it. But the goal is that you're not gonna see the serging anyway. Like you're not gonna see the outside of the bag, sorry, the inside of the bag. Okay, so you don't have to worry. Everything will be clean. All right, so I also want you to iron, of course. Go ahead and iron this side. So iron it really, really nicely. And you could also, you could turn this if you want and iron it as well, but the goal is that you really iron it, right? I want the bag to be really nice and tailoredly ironed. Okay, so this is gonna be on the outs, this is gonna be on the wrong side. If you could see, this is my raw edge. You can see my raw edge here. So this is gonna be like that, okay? All right, so let's work it one at a time. So for this piece here now, we're gonna put it in front of us just like this, and we're gonna work with it individually. So we're gonna work with sides to side. So this side and then this side, okay? So you're gonna take your straps, right? And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna make sure our strap is nice and tailored. So I'm gonna have my strap like this, and I'm gonna just push it back like this, just to make sure I get a good angle. The reason why I'm doing that, I don't want my strap to be twisted. You just take it up, and then your strap is twist when you realize, because you see it looks okay, but then after when you put it like that, you see it's twist. You don't want that. So the best thing is to put it straight, and then you put it back like this, and you come. So what we're gonna do here for the measurements here, we're gonna go 3.5 inch from the edge of the bag. So I'm gonna come by my seam here. I'm gonna go 3.5 inches in, 3.5 inches in, and this is my 3.5 inches in. Then I'm gonna put the edge of my bag right at my 3.5 inches in, and then I'm gonna pin it down twice. So the same thing we'll do for the other side as well. 3.5 inches in, 3.5 inches in. Fantastic. Perfect. Then I am going to make sure I got my pin. Remember, you're just pinning one side, right? Beautiful. Right at the edge here, as you can tell. All right. So then I'm going to turn the bag this way now, the other side, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. Okay. And then, of course, just do what I do actually. First, let me just do it to make sure I have my bag straight. Okay, fantastic. So 3.5 inches in right at my edge. Beautiful. Okay, next one. 3.5 inches in. And right here. Fantastic. Okay, and I lift up my bag. You can see that I'm only doing this side. Okay, so here come the good stuff now, and this is why I want you to watch very intensely, because usually when I have classes, that's where my students will get kind of confused. All right, so this, as we know, is the pocket side. All right, the pockets are gonna be on the right side. The pinning is like that. Don't get confused to pin it up, because people will get confused and say, no, it's supposed to be up, why is down? It's supposed to be down like that, okay? And right sides. All right, so let me rest this aside, and I'll bring this back. So remember, say this is wrong sides, okay? Wrong sides facing me. And of course, you could go ahead and trim this out if you box the corner. If you didn't box the corner, don't even worry about it, okay? If you box the corner, trim this out, and then you could serge it, right? Just to kind of keep it down nice and tailor. You could also serge all the edges around. I didn't do that because at the end of the day, my bag gonna be clean on both ways, so it doesn't really matter much to me. Okay, I have this here. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna leave this like that, and I'm gonna open it up like this because I'm gonna put this bag inside of this, Okay, this one I'm gonna go inside of this. So this is what I'm gonna do. Leave this like this in front of me. Then I'm gonna nicely take this and I'm gonna crimp it up like this. Okay, all right, crimp everything up like this, making sure my strap is down and it's not up. Then I'm gonna just push it inside of this. Just settle it nicely. Okay, see, nicely. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do here is that I am going to make sure my edge is matched up. So edge to edge, seam to seam, sorry, seam to seam is matched up nicely. So just match it up nicely here. I'll pin it down. The seam allowance, you could open the seam allowance. You open the seam allowance and we're gonna pin it down. Make sure the both seam allowance here is open nicely. Okay, there you go. Open nicely, and then we will just pin it down like this, seam to seam. Perfect. Same thing on this side. Make sure my seam allowance is open nicely. And then we're gonna, okay, just push it down like that. Good, so I have my seams really nice and tailored at the end. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, guys, this is the tricky, this is the funny part, or the good part, I would say. We wanna pin the bag all around by the mouth here. We can also just kind of slightly take out the pin from where our strap and just repin it here. But the goal is that we wanna open it in the bag, okay? That is the actual goal. So I'm gonna leave a little opening just between here. So I can turn my bag, okay? A nice little opening. So I think I have an opening here of about 5 inches or 4.5 inches. So I'm gonna leave it here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna put a double pin here to know, don't move beyond that. All right, double pin. And again, you could leave an opening any part on the mouth of the bag. Like you could leave an opening here as well, that's what I mean. So what I'm gonna do here, seeing that this pin is nicely tucked in here, there, nice and tucked in there. I'll just take it out, making sure that I don't shift anything, and I'll just repin it. That's it. Repin it here, and I repin it here. So I'm just gonna pin all around the bag. We're just gonna come here and just take out the pin again. I'm making sure my strap is stable, it's still in place, it doesn't shift or anything. Beautiful. And then I'm gonna continue pinning it down. And for this side now, I'm just gonna pin all over the bag. I'm not gonna leave any opening here because we already have an opening. So I'm just taking out the pins from the strap, making sure that I don't move the strap in any way. Yeah. So once you have all your measurement to the T, everything will just match up nicely. And keep in mind it's a double-sided bag anyway, so you can weigh it on both sides. So I'm just gonna feed this here too. Okay, good. Alrighty. So this is how it is. Okay. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do now, we're gonna go on the machine now. Remember, I have my opening here because I have my double pin. So we're gonna start on one side, do a back stitch, come around, and then we're gonna come back on this side. Now I'm gonna try to do it twice to make sure, because remember, say I want my back to be strong. So I'm gonna do the stitch twice. So do it one time, back stitch, and then do it another time again. All right, so let's go on the machine. Okay, so we're gonna start, and we're not gonna make any mistake, of course. This time we're gonna start here, take out my pin, and we're gonna go all around, and we're gonna do it twice, okay? I'm just going to take out my double pin here. Okay guys, so we are done. Remember I said we did it twice, so we are done. So we're gonna use our opening now to pull our bag out. All right, so just watch, observe, and it's very simple because some of my students are gonna have like, what's going on here? So don't worry about it. It's very simple. Let me go ahead and pull it out. We're gonna pull everything out. Pull, pull, pull. So if I pull this out, I'm gonna also pull this out as well. Okay. I'm gonna also pull it out, pull it out, pull it out, pull everything out. Okay, so now I have two back out, right? Then it's like, what do I do? Okay, so what we're gonna do, if you push anyone in, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just gonna push the, I'll just push this here and just push the pocket out. And anyone could come, it's not a big deal. So I put this like that. All right, so you can wait on this side. The tote bag. Right. Or let's put it the other side. You could wear it on this side to match your other items, right? There you go. So I'm gonna poke out here. Of course, that's where your ironing gonna come in. There you go. Right. The bag, fantastic. So you go right on both sides. So the next thing you're gonna do now is to iron it. And one thing we have to do is to iron this side. You see our straps is not twisted, it's nice and clean. We're gonna iron here. So we had to do a top stitch, and the top stitch is gonna help us make sure this stay nicely, and also we're gonna seal this edge as well. So this is what we're gonna go ahead and do. We're gonna close this down, and we're gonna secure it with some pin. You could secure it before or after. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna try to iron it down first actually. And you're gonna take it and iron them out here, okay? So you wanna make sure it's nice and tailored down. All right. So now once you iron the mouth of the bag to your satisfaction, I think that it's, you know, it's all ready to go, ready to complete your bag. Then you would take your pins and you would seal this down. So I'll just sit it on my pin. Then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just go ahead and do a 1/4 inch stitch all around the bag. So 1/4 inch stitch on my machine all around the bag, and pretty much my bag is done. Okay, so I'm just gonna start on the side here. this on the side here. And what I'm gonna do to get my stitch, I just put the back of the edge of my presser foot just to get my quarter penny stitch, because it's right there. Make sure your strap is like this, very important. Okay guys, so your bag is finally done. The only thing left to do now is to give your bag a professional iron. And as you know, you could wait on both sides. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Gellis, and this is Infinite Modesty Design. See you in the next lesson. Take care, guys.